Welcome to Make and Decorate, a podcast for makers who love to sew, quilt, knit, and decorate. Hi, everyone. I am surprising you with a new episode in the middle of summer. Yay! The main reason for this episode is to share a couple of chats I had with a couple of quilting companies I met with at the H+H Americas show. First, I have a little industry news tidbit to share. You may have already heard about this, but Checker Distributors is a company that supplies product to quilt shops and stores around the world. And they have just acquired Karen K. Buckley. If you're familiar, you may even have a pair of those really cool Karen K. Buckley scissors. I have a pair of those purple scissors, and they are great. I love them. Karen sold the business to Checkers and is retiring, so congratulations to her. And the great news about this acquisition is that Checker Distributors will keep producing the scissors and all of the other products in the Karen K. Buckley line, and consumers may not even notice a difference. I am very happy to present two chats or interviews with quilting companies that attended the H+H Americas show. H+H Americas is relatively new. The first time that they had this show was last year, so this is only the second year that it has been going. However, H+H Cologne has been around for many years, and that is the original show and location, which is Cologne, Germany. And that Cologne show is huge. It is very large, and I'm told it's 3 levels, and they have over 400 exhibitors. And what also is cool, I just have to side note, H+H Cologne, their so-called booths are actually rooms. They're hard walls. They're actual little rooms, or some of them are big. I heard that one of them was 500 square feet, and their presentations are very high quality. They put a lot into the presentations, the vendors. And they also offer beverages and food, even cook things for the people who attend. It sounds so amazing that, I mean, who wouldn't want to go to that? But the one in America here, and I guess in the US, we do our trade shows differently, and they're just like those temporary pipe and curtain setup, PVC pipes. And however, there were some very elaborate and beautiful booths set up at the show. So anyway, I digressed with the whole Cologne talk, but that is the origin of the H+H show. The H+H show is a trade show for business to business, and it's not for consumers. It's where your local quilt, yarn, fabric, and fiber shops go to order product and see what new lines are going to be introduced for the next season. So it would be I guess summer and fall, but most of it was directed towards fall introductions. There were such beautiful fall yarn colors. And another side note, I got so excited about Blue Sky Fibers. They are introducing a super bulky wool yarn line, washable wool. It is so soft, and they had a gorgeous, a sweater hoodie made. They had tons of sweaters made in it, some sweaters with color work. So super bulky yarn with color work. It was so much fun. I thoroughly enjoyed the show, but I also worked really hard for the podcast. This year, the show added features for content creators like myself, and there was a recording studio with equipment set up to record or live stream with people there in person. It was like a little tiny room made up from these temporary walls. There was a big acrylic window in the front. So people, I mean, it looked like a radio station studio. So imagine that. And that's kind of what it looked like. I signed up for a time slot and I had invited 3 guests to record with me. I made appointments with them, and 2 of the 3 made it to record with me. The recording studio is a great idea, but man, there were some glitches that I dealt with. I don't know if I was the only one that couldn't figure out the equipment, maybe, because I am a solo podcaster that does remote interviews with people online. So I don't do in-person interviews very often. I've only done maybe 1 or 2 of those. So this equipment they had was overkill for me, and I had no idea how to work it. There were several microphones, several cameras, and the software I didn't know, and there was no one there to help you. Yes. But thank goodness I was smart enough to pull out my phone and record on there because I felt very unsure that the recording was going to work in the studio, and for sure it did not. You will be hearing the recording that I did from my phone. I did edited with noise reduction as much as I could without distorting our voices. Believe me when I tell you, the background noise is so much better after editing than the actual recording. So hopefully you enjoy it. I just wanted to mention that about the audio quality of the recordings. The first interview is with Jesse and Jamie from Tites. You might be familiar with the Tites magnetic sewing pins. They've been around for a while, and they are great for projects like working with cork in bag making and vinyl, where you can't use pins. You can't pierce that with pins because those holes will still be there. And other materials like minky, those big fluffy fabrics. So those magnetic sewing pins are great for that. And now there is an exciting new product that they launched at the show, the Sew Magnetic Cutting System. There's a link in the show notes to the Sew Tites website so you can take a look at all of the beautiful photographs that shows this system and the many different things that it is capable of doing and helping you with. But not only does that link go to the Sew Tites website, but I am now an affiliate of Sew Tites. I am so excited. And the link from this episode will also give you 15% off your purchase by using that link. It's so great. So don't forget to go to the show notes and click on the link. And the promo code, in case you want to know it, is Stephanie Socha, my name. It's the traditional spelling of Stephanie, Stephanie, Socha, Socha, Stephanie Socha, or just click on that link. The second interview you will hear is with Julie Luma from Off the Wall Quilt, an online quilt shop that specializes in laser cut quilting rulers and custom applique acrylic templates. They also have a very cool portable design wall that breaks down into what I call a yoga mat size bag for easy transport. It's a very, very innovative product. And again, wish I thought of that. Here are the interviews. I hope you enjoy. And I will be back in the fall with more new episodes. I'm back in the creator studio here at H+H Americas in Chicago, and this next guest is going to blow your mind with their new product. Here with me are the owners of Tites, Jessica and Jamie, and your sisters, right?
Yes.
Oh, yay. Thank you for taking time to sit with me and talk about what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for having us. Yeah.
Yes. So I've been using the Tites, your magnetic pins, for a while, and they're completely awesome. And and I really, really want those little Tula heart ones, but they're never available.
They're sold out now and discontinued.
Go ahead and talk about, just give us a little summary of what you do and your existing products, and then we'll go into the big news.
All right. Go ahead, Jamie.
Okay. We're Tites magnetic sewing pins. So they're just a way to pin or clip when you can't pin or clip. We originally came up with the idea because I was making a bag. It had a flap away from the seam, so I couldn't use a clip, and it was cork, so I couldn't put a pin through it. I used some magnets, told my sister, the marketer, about what I had done, and she said, that's probably a problem somebody else has, so we should market that. So we did. We took prototypes to QuiltCon in 2018 and sold out of them, but gave them away, but they were all gone in a day and a half. And so we decided we should make these.
That's
Yes.
good. That's just, it's one of those things where you're just like, I wish I did that. I wish I thought of that.
Yeah, our friend and a gal who worked with us for some time calls it this post-it note of the quilting and sewing industry, because it's like very simple and functional and kind of like, how come this hadn't been thought about before?
Yeah, because magnets has been around forever.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, and so then we put up a website, we sent some to industry friends, had some made, and we didn't really still know if it was going to be that good of a thing. But then we started getting calls from distributors about 6 months later, and so then I quickened one weekend, made them into be retail ready, because we hadn't really thought through that process yet. And then very soon after that, we had industry friends saying, like, I think they work for English paper piecing, or I think they work for this, but they need to be smaller or bigger or stronger or whatever it may be. And so we just had customers and friends tell us and give us feedback, and we've just added to the line ever since.
Yeah, that's amazing how that just all fell into place, and that you guys have that yin and yang sort of thing with the creative and the business marketing genius. Because it just all comes together. It's really good. And since then, because your magnetic sewing pins are like they're bars, but now you've got some other sizes. You have some smaller ones, like where we could use it with EPP, English paper piecing, which is great. I love that. And I have run across that problem before in the past of bag making, and the clips, can't hold it together because you have to sew further in on the fabric. So that's like a brilliant workaround.
Yeah.
And it really, they're strong magnets.
Yes, they are. Yeah, kind of one of the cool things with like EPP that it's helped people just release hand cramp. Their thread doesn't get caught on it like it does a pin or a clip. And then also people who didn't think they could hand sew anymore, who have very severe arthritis or other hand mobility challenges, they allow them to. So then, but sometimes our magnets are a little too strong still, so we have some lighter strength ones now. And then we have collaborated with different people like Tula Pink and Libs Elliott for kind of some unique shape ones that are fun and still the same function as our kind of more utilitarian shapes.
Yeah, I love that. I saw the lips, the skull.
Yeah.
And I already told you I love the Tula heart.
Yeah.
The little pink heart. It's so cute. So you've had that going on, and now this year you have like an unveiling of another brilliant product. that is coming out in September. So roll back the curtain.
So it's a magnetic cutting system. So it's a double-sided mat, and there's two colors of gray, a light gray on one side, a darker gray on the other.
Mm-hmm.
And there's metal in the middle, and then it comes with a ruler that is 6.5 by 24, and it has magnets embedded in the ruler, a little beveled edge on the two short ends, so that you can kind of make micro adjustments on the mat, and it just helps hold your fabric in place without really having to press down. Like, you still have to put a little bit of pressure on it, but it's not like really pushing like you do with a traditional cutting system.
Mm-hmm.
It also comes with 12 what we call boosters. They're little cylinders with super strong magnets in the bottom of them, and you put them, if you're doing thick things like cork or leather or soft and stable, you put the boosters on the magnets that are in the ruler, and the magnet plus the magnet equals a stronger magnet, so it holds those thicker things. And the system comes with 12 boosters, but again, it's helping people, like if they have, with fatigue, or if they have shoulder issues with cutting, it helps relieve a lot of that as well, and a lot of slippage that just happens.
Yeah, the ergonomics of that is really needed out there for sure. Because I even have had elbow pain from rotary cutting, and with the pressing down so hard, and then you're also pressing down hard on the rotary blade. So I saw Jamie did a video demonstration of it, and I was just sitting there like, oh my God. There are magnets in the ruler. It's like a sandwich. And the other thing is, you made the size of the cutting mat a little different. It's 20 inches tall versus the typical 18. And you could get a fat quarter on there without having to fold it on itself.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can see all the way around the fat quarter, all the measurements. On the mat too, there are whole inch numbering on one axis and then half inch on the other, depending on what you're doing. You just rotate the mat, and then that's the way the ruler is too. And then you can also use the extra boosters or any other Tites magnets for holding down like acrylic templates for fussy cutting, or any other type of templated piece that you're cutting out, as well as like paper garment patterns, bag patterns, things like that. You can just hold them down and snap them on with our other products.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
that's great. So it's a system, and everything works together. With, you have a mat, you have the ruler. They're both they're magnetized. And the boosters, which are more magnets.
And it is being sold as a system to launch, because it is a patented system. Like, it's the utility of all of that together is what's patented. There is a right-handed system, and then there is a left-handed system as well. So lefties can buy a system that is made for them. So the ruler the numbering is mirrored, so it's opposite basically of the right-handed ruler, and so is the mat.
Nice.
And so it only has the one set of numbering. There are mats and rulers on the market that can be read both ways, but that can get kind of confusing for some people. So it's just what is made for you.
Nice. That's great. And then these are shipping in September all over to quilt shops everywhere.
Yes. Yeah.
Yay. Okay. Really good.
Yeah. So they should be hopefully shipping from quilt shops or be on quilt shop shelves. We're hoping by the end of September, but it might end up being in October by the time they go through all the distribution channels and everything.
But probably quilt shops might be taking pre-orders.
Yes,
I think I saw on your website you have pre-orders.
Certainly ask your local quilt shop to carry them.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, and yes, it is an investment set, but I think if sewing and quilting or bag making is your hobby, and you're going to use it every single time you do it, then it's like having, for me, a coffee maker. You use it every day. It's got to be a good coffee maker.
Yes, it's definitely, it's not for the first time, so it's difficult. It's for the people who do this all the time, and really, we made it as high quality as
Yeah.
we do stand behind it and everything, and we are excited to see it. We're getting a lot of good feedback on it, especially when people try it.
Yeah.
First, because there are so many cutting systems out there, it's kind of like, well, I don't think I need anything different.
Mm-hmm.
But then once they try it, they're like, oh, wow, And it does take a little practice to not press down on it so much.
Yeah.
Because you're just used to doing that.
Right, second nature.
But then, Jamie has a shop, and so her employees have been testing it and using it, and it has taken them, took them a little bit to kind of realize that they didn't have to hold it so hard, and then they're like, wow, it does make a difference. I don't get tired or whatnot.
Okay, that's wonderful. Yep. So magnets are fun. All right, well, thank you so much for coming. We're at the H+H show, and you guys have a booth here.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's a trade show, and they're selling to all of your everybody's quilt shops. So get out to your quilt shop again. After I chatted with Jessie and Jamie later in the afternoon, I stopped by their booth and I tried the So Magnetic cutting system. Thank you. It is very nice. The magnets are the boosters that they were talking about are these short little cylinder magnets, and it's a very versatile system. They had a clothing pattern piece held to the magnetic mat with the little booster cylinders, and you could cut right around that pattern piece. Also for, of course, quilting, squaring up your fabric, that sort of thing. And when I tried it, I really did notice the difference of not having to apply so much pressure with my arm with the rotary blade, and also not having to apply pressure with the other hand on the ruler and making sure that that doesn't fishtail at the end of your cut. Be sure to check out this cutting system when it reaches your local quilt shops. I'm back in the creator studio here at H+H Americas in Chicago, and I am chatting with Julie Luma, owner of Off the Wall Quilts. Welcome, Julie. Thank you for taking some time out of your busy day to come here and record.
Well, thank you for inviting me. And, honestly, it's nice to have a chance to sit down.
Oh, good.
We're on our feet all day at the show.
You are, yeah. All those booths, you're just standing all day, and you're talking a lot too. I was talking a lot too, going from booth to booth this morning, and then all of a sudden I'm like, I need some water.
Yes.
I'm get dehydrated. So it's really exciting here at the H+H. This is the second year that they've put it on. I don't know if you were here last year.
We were. This is our first time.
Yeah, because it was mostly like yarn and fiber arts last year. So now, it's really big with the quilting and sewing. All the fabric companies are here, so it's really good. So let's talk about your business. So you're go ahead and talk about where you're located and what your business is.
Okay. Well, we used to be in Washington State, and 6 years ago, we packed up our house and moved to Florida.
Wow.
So, if you're going to pack, you should go far, don't you think?
Yes.
So
taking all that trouble.
Florida. Change climates. So we're in Central Florida now, Sanford, and we don't have a brick and mortar store. We just travel to shows.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, all the time. And so what people always want to come and visit us in Sanford, and it's a warehouse, and it's ugly. It's got machines and industrial shelving, and that's it. So, but yeah, we manufacture there, and my daughter works with us, and then we have one other employee. So there's just 4 of us.
Nice.
And it's a lot of fun. Our daughter also lives with us, which really helps because we're on the road so much.
Yeah.
So she says it's like having your own house half the time.
So she benefits from that arrangement.
She does. So, but yeah, we do shows pretty much all the time. We're trying to come back now. We're doing more custom work. What we do most of, is laser cutting acrylics.
Okay.
And we're kind of unique in that we do all kinds of colors for people. And we love doing custom work. We have a standard line of rulers, but our first love is working with designers and shops and quilters and I always say making their dreams come true. And I was just talking to a lady that said, I've had this literally just a few minutes ago. She was saying, I had this idea in my head for years swimming around. I never knew how to get it out. and she talked to us for just a few minutes. My husband's an engineer. He's great at this, and he's already, ready to make sketches and drawings.
Oh, nice.
And then we can take it back and do test runs and come up, make her dream come to life.
Oh, wow. That's great. Yeah, I think in the last several years, acrylic templates have just exploded because, I don't know, maybe it's because of the accessibility to the laser cutters for people to make them, and you don't have to be like a ginormous, company.
Yeah, and we started out with just one line of templates. That's what we were. It's called Angle Play. It's still my favorite quilting tool. And the company where they were being cut was a big company and had very large minimum orders. And we're just this little teeny company working out of a garage. And we couldn't afford to order, thousands of rulers, much less store them. So we bought our first laser and started cutting, and now we run 5 lasers and 2 UV printers, and because we can do full color printing on the acrylic now.
That's great.
And so that's really close to our hearts, though, that we're never going to shut out the small companies, because we were that company that couldn't get going. So I even said we make it to the point where we dedicate one of our small lasers to small orders, so that you can always get your order in.
I like that.
We're not going to push people out. So, and we just love the design part. Like you said, my husband's an engineer, so you get this rocket science, engineer practically. He worked for Boeing doing stuff. But,
oh, wow.
That's how we got to know Florida. He did some work on the shuttle. And so he takes the designs, and for quilters, getting the angle perfect is really important. But lots of us can't do it. I would say I'm the first one who can't get there, and he can make it really close to perfect.
Wow.
And so he makes a huge difference. And then our laser guy is just awesome at making things smooth. Somebody just told me she had ordered circles from a laser company, and they were all ovals when he came, because it's impossible to make a circle on a laser.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, they won't. It's not going to be exact unless you know how to shift edges around. You'll always end up with a spiral or an oval. So
interesting.
There is some real skill to it.
Yeah.
That's not my department. I do the creative and the fun stuff.
Creative, yeah.
But it's fun, and we do it as a family. Like I said, there's only 4 of us, and Josh is great. He's the one that's not family, but he's kind of like a brother or something. But we love it because we're all very highly self-motivated and creative, and not territorial, because we all have to do all the jobs.
Right. Yeah, you have to wear all the hats.
So we have like a brand new jigsaw puzzle game kind of a thing at our booth. This is our first show we've had it at. And just a few weeks ago, I said to my husband, wouldn't it be fun to have a jigsaw puzzle of some sort with, quilts? And he starts throwing in ideas, and pretty soon we're all just collaborating on it. And less than a week later, they made me one. And that was really teamwork.
Yeah.
And so now we've had a bunch of stores come by and they're ordering it, because we can print any picture or logo on them.
Yeah.
My mom once, I tried to explain to her, she's going to be 90 pretty soon here, okay? And she kind of understands what we do, but she hasn't been to a show or anything. And so she's like, I really need one of those puzzles. And I'm like, Mom, it's a story. There's prizes, people win stuff, She goes, I don't care, I want one. So maybe for her 90th birthday, she's going to get some version of it.
Oh, that's great.
But it is fun working.
She's a VIP.
She is, and she sees stuff she wants. And sometimes when I'm testing patterns, I'll make stuff for both our moms, and I can just send those out. So we do, and I tell them they're testers, product testers. So it's a lot of fun doing it as a family. We have our moments where we'd like to be anywhere else, as you do in any family situation. And my husband and I, since we drive together so much, you get tired of each other. I mean, let's be honest. And so we go out for dinner, and everyone's like, "Oh, you probably want to sit by your husband," and I'm like, "No, really."
You've been together all day.
Yes, we just spent 14 hours in the van. Can I sit by you? But no, it is just delightful, and it's hard work getting to and from the shows. But once we're here, I just love talking to people. And
you get to see people in person.
Yes. Yeah. So much energy and excitement.
But you have to like to do it, to travel.
You do. And the physical part, the setup and the takedown is really hard on the body.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So, that part gets to you. But, we've been to so many states and had so many interesting people. All the yarn here, like you're talking about, is just oh, I just want to walk around and pet everything.
I know. Isn't it so pretty? Yeah. I started on that site this morning.
And somebody today gave me a little sample of yarn, and I've been holding it all day. It's wool.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, that's it.
That could be your next hobby, knitting
Well, I
or
could
crochet.
Most quilters knit and crochet as well.
I started knitting in 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've been obsessed.
Yes.
And I quilted before that and made clothes. So yeah, I like to do it all, which is what my podcast is about: make and decorate for people who. There's a lot of people out there, a lot more. For a while, I thought I was the only one really that jumped from this to this to that. But there's so many that love to do it all,
Absolutely.
like I do.
Yes, I know. I've got paints and yarns and crochet hoods and needles and some glass stuff. Everything. We just like it all. I just like colors and textures.
Me too. Yeah, I love. Yeah, the textiles and the textures are just so much fun, and the colors, like you said. So not only do you have that, but you also sell a really cool portable quilt wall.
Design wall, yes.
Design wall.
Cheryl Ann's design walls. And they're the only portable freestanding design wall on the market. Oh. And our biggest one is 72 inches square. So that's
I saw that on your website.
Like 6 by 6. And it folds up into a little duffel bag that's...
It looks like a yoga bag. That's how small it is.
Yeah, and it weighs 7 pounds.
Wow.
So it's really fun. We'll be at a big show that people travel to. And they'll be, okay, I want that. Do you ship? And we say, yes. And then they go, well, show it to me, show it. And they go, I can put that in my carry-on. And you can. Yeah. So, and they're made out of flannel that's made for us in Guatemala. And then all the pieces come to us in Florida, and we assemble them there. So I always say, I'm sure I've touched your wall.
That's funny.
And we have the 54-inch ones and 36 that sit on a bed or a table, and the little 18-inch ones.
Yeah,
even.
it's cute. Yeah.
So they can kind of fit any space.
Yeah, and they I watched a video on that, and they assemble easy, and they have nice support. They're very taut. So
and we do have replacement pieces available for everything. Yeah, because if you're like me, if it can be dropped and it bounces off at some weird angle, I'll be taking it apart at a show, and a clip will pop off, and it's nowhere to be found. And I think, I wonder if it hit my neighbor in the head or something, and they don't know where this little black missile came flying from. So but they're super handy. When you can see your design vertical, it makes all the difference.
Oh, for sure.
And then I always say that once you hit about 50 or so, the floor recedes 2 inches every year, and so it gets harder.
Even before I turned 50, I'm like, this floor stuff is for the birds and my knees.
Yes, I'm getting back up. And when I put my quilts on my bed, the dogs inevitably jump right.
Yes, they
so
love
the
to do
wall
that.
helps, yes.
Yeah, the wall definitely helps. So that's great. Is there anything else that you want to talk about?
Well, since we do make acrylic rulers, I'm a quilter. I'm really in tune with our quilters and my students. I teach too. And what do we struggle with? And we all struggle with those acrylic rulers slipping.
Yes.
It's a huge problem. So we now have a patented product called Easy Grip that's applied on the backs of our rulers. And it's funny because I always tell people it feels good because we're very tactile.
Yes.
And this is what people will stand there and start petting it. And I just laugh because I do the same thing. But when you put it on your fabric, you can still slide your ruler around to get it in place. Any way, you can just gently put your finger on it even, and it doesn't move.
Nice.
And you move your hand, and you can move the ruler again. So my 24-inch one that I call my happy ruler, do you know why? Because it wags its tail. Just as you get to the end of the cut, it starts to move. Yes. So now my Easy Grip rulers are just happy; they don't wag their tails. But I have been experimenting, and I can just barely put the weight of my hand, not pressing down, no white knuckles, and I can cut all the way to the end without moving my hand. Yeah, and that's the release pressure on your arm, your elbow, wrist. Yeah. Yeah. So it really works. And then when you're pressing so hard, because sometimes you don't think to move your hand up the ruler, and that's when that tail thing happens. Yeah. So it moves on you. that's a big one. And then for your old rulers that don't have Easy Grip, we have another product that we make that's called Ruler Magic, and you can just put a drop of that on the back of your ruler. And it'll dry, and it's a little tacky. It's a little sticky, and you can wash it off though. It'll pick up lint and stuff, but it's gonna wear off. It wears off I don't know. I can usually finish a few quilts and then I need to reapply some.
Hmm.
So you don't have to throw away all your old rulers. Because I'll tell you, when you start using Easy Grip, it makes you mad at all your other rulers.
Sure.
Because
yeah.
they move.
Yeah.
So this is a good, to
you realize how slippery they really are.
Yes. So this will patch you through. Ruler Magic will patch you through until you can get all Easy Grip.
Oh, nice.
So.
And I'm not sure, but it sounds like it's something that you might be able to use on the Cricut Maker mats to make them sticky again.
I forgot about that. People buy that for their the Ruler Magic for their Cricut mats.
Yes.
And you just put a real thin layer on and let it dry.
Okay, so I wasn't the first person to think of that.
You were, but I forgot. I'm glad you reminded me. I actually, believe it or not, don't have a cutting machine.
What?
Well, I have.
You got all those laser cutters, and you don't have your own little personal Cricut Maker.
But I've got these guys that just cut things for me.
That's true. Yeah, I could get used to that too.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing,
right?
But yeah, it works really good for that. And then people tell me they can wash it too on those mats.
Yeah,
and it brings it back to life for several times.
Nice.
So.
Yeah, I gotta check that out. So I am so glad that you took time out of today because we're at the H+H show and here in Chicago, and it is a large trade show for the trade, which a lot of quilt shops and yarn shops are purchasing from these vendors like you, and they're making their orders for the fall, I guess, or for just to have them.
Well, we've had a couple of people want things in the middle of July, so yeah.
Oh, wow.
We're gonna do it for them.
Nice,
yeah.
Great. All right, well, we'll talk again where we can actually talk a little bit longer and talk more about your products because I know you have some books too. So I'll have you back on.
Sounds good.
All right, thank you. I hope you enjoyed both of these interviews. And I want to say about the Easy Grip rulers by Off the Wall Quilt. Julie gave me a little 3 by 6 inch ruler, Easy Grip ruler, and I know exactly how I'm going to use it. I saw Sashiko instructor use exactly that size ruler to mark the designs on the fabric, the Sashiko designs. And it's a perfect size for that. And the fact that it has that grippy surface on the back will be great. Well, it was good chatting with you again. And like I said earlier, I will be back with new episodes in the fall. And until then, enjoy the rest of your summer. And remember, keep making and decorating. Bye-bye. If you love the Make and Decorate with Stephanie podcast, check out my Patreon page at patreon.com/makeanddecorate. You'll get a bonus episode every month, even during the months that the show is on hiatus. Thanks for listening, and I will chat with you next time. Bye-bye.